This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So the other day I did a video about Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator, ostensibly Democrat, he's a member of the party, Democratic senator from West Virginia, from the great state of West Virginia. Beautiful state of West Virginia. Look, I'm from northern Idaho, where beauty is just on tap where I'm from. And West Virginia it rivals Idaho in its beauty. And the people, it's a great state. It's a great state. It's an unfortunate thing that Joe Manchin is their senator. The dipshit, the liar, the traitor to his party and his country, Joe Manchin. I always say Joe Biden. Joe Manchin. And I got some voicemails, a whole bunch of voicemails, but I'm specifically going to play 3 from people from West Virginia because their opinion, I don't think it matters more, certainly, but I think it's telling because he is actually representing these people who called. We'll start with an angry voicemail, and then we'll finish with 2 others. Here we go.
Yeah, I defy you to put me on the air. My name's Lloyd. I've called in there 12 times, 15.
It's a lot.
I view you through. Please delete that part. And I'm a West Virginian, as you should know, and I kind of resent I do not support Joe Manchin, but on the same hand, you're treading on my toes by the crap that you're spreading about Joe Manchin. Now,
What?
I'm a Democrat, dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, okay?
Right.
And I didn't see your whole video. I watched a couple of minutes of it and got pissed off, and I noticed something. I noticed that you didn't leave your call-in number at the end of it for all of us West Virginians to say, kiss my ass. You know? I mean, what the hell? You can want to move to West Virginia. You move to D.C. It's right there at the neck of West Virginia. And I offered to support you before, and I still might support you. But this is crap, man. Don't give me this Joe Manchin this and Joe Manchin that. Because that law ain't dead yet because of Joe Manchin. And I'll tell you right now, he ain't the fucking king. And Joe Biden needs to stand on his toes and prove that he's the king. He did a pretty good job today with his statement about COVID, and I support that, and I support you. But watch it, because you're treading on thin ice.
Let me say, listen, of all the hate calls I get, or the angry calls, I don't think this is a hate call. I love me some Lloyd. I'm a Lloyd fan. Lloyd from West Virginia. Let's address first. One, if you only watched a couple of minutes of the video that made you so angry, Lloyd, how would you know whether or not I left my phone number at the end? It's perplexing. It's a question. And further, it's easy to find out whether or not I did that. We'll just roll back the tape, brother. We'll just play the last few seconds of this segment of the video where I'm talking about Joe Manchin and then throw the number out. Watch this. But millionaire Joe Manchin, who didn't even get 300,000 votes, he controlled this. Gross. What do you think, though? Am I being too harsh? You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. So I most certainly threw out the number. I'm always encouraging communication. So I don't know where you got that part from, Lloyd. Secondly, Joe Manchin is not a king. And Joe Biden shouldn't get on his toes and prove that he's the king because there are no kings in America, sir. We don't want a king. We don't want a Trump. We don't want some dynastic rule of heredity. We want elected leaders. Men and women who are passionate about making the country better for people, for equity and equality in our country. Now, Joe Biden has a long way to go to be the president I want him to be. But he's a good start. He's a far cry better man than Donald Trump. Far cry better man than Joe Manchin, who is ruled by elite forces of corporatism and fossil fuel industry money. He's dirty. Just as dirty as coal is, which is unpopular to say to a West Virginian, I guess. But I appreciate your passion, Lloyd. I really do. Thank you for the call. Absolutely. And I don't mind being taken to task. I'm like anybody else, making all kinds of mistakes in my life, and I'm going to continue to do so. But it's all about a conversation. Next call.
Mr. Dollemore, I am a constituent of Joe Manchin's. I live in Charleston, West Virginia, and I have never heard something so on cue as you have just said. He is a total disgrace. He didn't even pick. I'm listening to you. I can hear quite often. And man, you hit the nail on the head. I wish to God you would go on MSNBC or CNN or one of the stations and just more people need to hear your voice. They need to hear truth and facts, and that's exactly what you stand for. And I love you. Keep on, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Listen, I've never been invited on to a CNN or an MSNBC. Those things are not, there's not a number I call to get myself on a list. That's just an invite thing. So I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm happy connecting with people all over the country, including yourself. Thank you for taking the time out to voice your opinion, being a constituent of Joe Manchin and being pissed off. It's important now more than ever, especially if you're a member of the party of the person who represents you, to let them know that your support does hinge on their behavior, on their representation of you. Next call, another West Virginian.
Hey, Jim.
A little choppy in the beginning.
Yeah. She couldn't tell by the accent. But yes, I'm mad about what Manchin has done. Voted for him. Never vote for him again if he runs. Just wanted to let you know you're on the right track.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's disheartening that this is where we are in America, that we have a system, a setup where one single individual who is elected by 290,510 votes can scuttle the agenda that was a mandate from the American people when they voted for Joe Biden, who got 81 million plus votes. Almost 81 million more votes during his election than Joe Manchin got in his. Joe Manchin, who won, but not decidedly, over his Republican opponent. He does think he is a king, going back to the first caller, Lloyd. He believes he's the decider, to put it in George W. Bush terms. And it is wrong. He does not have a mandate to control a national agenda item that is going to lift children out of poverty. The child tax credit, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again like I did the other day, but it is lifted between 30 and 40%. Eliminated child poverty by 30 to 40%. And Joe Manchin doesn't want it. For inexplicable reasons. They make no sense whatsoever. And West Virginians are, on the whole, going to suffer because of it. The good Americans of West Virginia are going to suffer because of the decision and the irresponsibility and the recalcitrant disregard for their well-being of Joe Manchin. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. If you're in West Virginia, I'd still love to know what you think, but also from all over the country and around the world. You can call 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. See, Lloyd? You see? I drop the number every time, brother. Every time. And if that's not good enough for you, Lloyd, you could also follow me on social media. I am on Twitter @Dollemore. I am on Instagram @Dollemore. And if TikTok is your thing, I'm occasionally there, also @Dollemore. If you appreciate what I do, I would invite you to consider supporting my work here on the platform for as little as $1.99 a month. You can click the join button below, see what's involved, and become a channel member here on YouTube, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'm moving. I'll be out of here soon. I've got a couple more things I'm going to do video-wise, talk about the people who are going to guest host for me. I've got some scripted stuff that is being produced right now that I'm going to drop while I'm gone. But I love you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, have a great weekend. You are beautiful people. I appreciate you. I hope you know that. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.